Hello and welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint Show. I am your host, Jay Jones. Black Entrepreneur Blueprint was created specifically to educate and inspire Black entrepreneurs to launch, build, and grow successful businesses. Join us as we help build an economic power base in the Black community by promoting business ownership. If you are currently an entrepreneur or want to be an entrepreneur, we invite you to join us every week here at Black Entrepreneur Blueprint.
Welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, episode number 272. I'm your host, Jay Jones, and stand by, family, for a dynamic show today. We're going to go in deep, and we're going to talk about some serious business. Not that any other business isn't serious, but today we're going to talk about the importance of vertical integration. Own the production, own the distribution, own the customer, or die. Let me repeat that. The importance of vertical integration. Own the production, own the distribution, own the customer, or die. What we're going to do, family, I'm going to do another case study today, an actual case study, and show you exactly why vertical integration is so important. But before we get to today's episode, I just want to share a few things with the BEB family. First and foremost, I want to welcome all first-time listeners to Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, the podcast. Welcome to the BEB family. Please stick around until the end of today's broadcast so I can give you all of my social media contact information. And please connect with me on all platforms. Also, my new book is out, A New Black Wall Street. Circulating the Black Dollar Worldwide by Building Successful E-Commerce Businesses. So if you're interested in building a successful, sustainable e-commerce business, go to anewblackwallstreet.com. Pick yourself up a copy. I recommend the digital version right now because it's been updated and it has new chapters and a fast start guide. It's only $9.95. Go to anewblackwallstreet.com and you can pick it up there. Also, if you are interested in building an e-commerce business and you need additional assistance, I've created a compatible online course titled Educated E-Commerce. You can go to educatedecommerce.com and enroll in the course. Now, you guys know this show is all about circulating the black dollar in the black community. So I've created two platforms to assist us in doing so. The first platform for any black product producer, you can go to besmartbyblack.com, besmartbyblack.com, upload your product information on the site. It is free, and you can connect with black consumers worldwide that can buy your product. Now, if you are a freelancer, if you do anything on Fiverr or freelancer.com, I've created another platform titled hireblackfreelancers.com, HIRE blackfreelancers.com. Once again, it's free. Put your information up there and you can connect with black consumers and black businesses that are looking for a black freelancers. Now, if you need to connect with me or request me to come out to speak at a church, organization, university, college, or whatever, please go to bookjjones.com, bookjjones.com. And you can fill out a short form and I'll get back to you. I just came back from Detroit about 2 weeks ago. I had a blast out there in the D. I love meeting people face to face, especially obviously the BEB family. Now, all of this information, I know it's a lot, but you can go to bebconnect.com, bebconnect.com, and all of the information will be there. All right, family, let's get into it today. The importance of vertical integration. Own the production, own the distribution, own the customer, or die. And today we're going to do another real life case study, which we're going to get into, and we're going to talk about what vertical integration is, why it's important, and why we must do it so we can build an economic power base. So first and foremost, the definition of vertical integration, it's a competitive strategy by which a company takes complete control over one or more stages in production or distribution of a product. I'm going to repeat this. The definition of vertical integration is a competitive strategy by which a company takes complete control over one or more stages in production or distribution of a product. Basically, family, it's talking about controlling it from the bottom to the top. So when you control something from the production, distribution and customer base, you control everything. That means that nobody can mess with you, theoretically. Okay. And today we're going to talk about Kady Hair Care Supply from Moreno Valley, California, which is owned by Kayla and Kiana Davis. And they were the youngest black women to own a beauty supply store in California. And I'm doing some research today about vertical integration, and I happened to come across an article about these two young sisters. I believe when they started the business, they were 19 and 21 years of age. And I think they started in 2016 or 2017. But unfortunately, they're out of business now. And the reason that they're out of business is because they didn't have vertical integration, because the Koreans who basically control that industry wouldn't sell to them. So we're going to talk about that today. So first and foremost, let me give you a couple statistics based on Nielsen research. And this is in 2018. So we black folks spend more than 9 times more than any other ethnicity when it comes to hair care. 9 times more. Okay. $473 million a year in hair care, $127 million in grooming aids, $465 million in skincare preparation, for a total of $1.1 billion on beauty annually. So we spend over $1.1 billion on beauty annually. And this is just the United States. I'm going to give you these numbers again. First and foremost, we spend 9 times more than any other non-black ethnicity. Okay, so obviously we're the bulk of that business. $473 million a year for hair care. We spend $127 million in grooming aids and $465 million in skincare preparation, for a total of over $1.1 billion with a B dollars in beauty annually. Okay, and I've talked about this before. Even in that beauty space, the trade magazines are written in Korean and American. So just imagine somebody else has come over to this country and they have taken advantage of an opportunity. They're feeding off of you. They're making millions of dollars off of you, and they're shutting you out of being able to get in business because they control everything. So let's talk about Kady Hair Care Supply. Kayla and Kiana Davis, the two young sisters that started this business several years ago. And unfortunately, they went out of business because Korean product manufacturers wouldn't sell them products. Okay. So they couldn't meet the demand of their customers. Their customers were coming in, but if you don't have product to sell, you're going to eventually go out of business. Now, that's a tactic that Koreans use to make sure that they control the industry. You see, we're talking about vertical integration. And once again, that's owning the production, the distribution, and the customer. So the tactic that they use to basically control the industry. Now, when the sisters came to try to buy products, the Koreans said that they only sell to their people. Okay? They said they only sell to their people. Meaning, once again, they're working as a group. They're not dysfunctional like a lot of us in terms when it comes to black economics. You see, they understand the power of group economics. And Dr. Claude Anderson talks about it all the time in his book, Powernomics. It's group economics. It's being able to work together. Once you have group economics, you can lower the price of the products that you buy, which can obviously increase your profitability, but that's going on a different level. So once again, guys, it's all about the importance of vertical integration. You see, you got to understand that there's levels to this game. Commerce is the action of buying and selling, but there's levels to the game. The surface level basically is just selling somebody else's stuff. Okay. But if you dig deeper, and today we're going to go through the 3 different levels that we can get to. owning the production, owning the distribution, and owning the customer. And we're going to talk about that because the deeper you can build your business, the stronger that foundation is going to be, which is going to enable you to withstand the attacks of others. Now, what you guys may not really understand is this is actually a war going on. Okay, it's a war for your dollars. And I always talk about weaponizing your dollars. And weapons can be used for defensive purposes also. Okay, so if we vertically integrate our businesses, we're taking our money. We're going to integrate the business by now. We're going to start using some of that money for production. We're going to start using some of that money for distribution. Okay, so we're weaponizing our dollars. We're creating a defense. Okay, I'm telling you guys, and if you think on the surface, you're not going to get it. But if you think deeper, why do you think that the magazines in the hair care industry or black hair industry are written in Korean? Because they control it. They're written in Korean. The objective of the Korean manufacturers is to not let you get into the game at that level, at the retail level, even at the production level. There's couple years ago, there was a documentary and it talked about Kazuri Products, which is in Los Angeles. And it's a black manufacturer that manufactures curling irons and pressing combs and things like that. And so in the video, and hopefully I can find a link and I can put it on the site. In the video, one of the owners was talking about how the Korean stores, the distribution point where everybody goes to buy their product, were cutting their products out. And they were duplicating the products with cheaper knockoffs, and they were telling Kazuri that their products weren't in demand anymore. So if you don't think this is a war, it's an economic war. Okay, and once again, there's no revolution, family, without economics. So basically, this black manufacturer, who's manufacturing products to black consumers, got cut out by the Koreans because the Koreans want to control everything. Once again, they stopped carrying their product in their stores, in their beauty supply stores. They duplicated the product. They knocked it off. And that's very common. When you get, if there's a good product out there, you see knockoffs all the time. And now they're telling the customers that, Kazuri isn't in demand anymore. We have something better. And what they're doing is they're funneling all that business. Now, Kazuri, at the time of this video or that documentary, they were struggling. It's because we don't control anything really. So you got to understand, family, this is economic war. Without economics, there's no revolution. You can't control anything. You can't control politics. You can't control the media, which controls our narrative. You can't control your education. We're at the behest of everybody else. So when you see these young sisters out here doing their thing and we're supporting them and they still can't make it because the game has levels to it. It's not just the superficial, I'm buying something over here and I'm selling it over there. The game has levels to it. And until we understand what the levels are, and we understand that the deeper you dig down, the more sturdy or stable your business is going to be, we're going to be in trouble. So once again, the importance of vertical integration: own the production, own the distribution, and own the customer or die. So we're going to start talking about owning the production. So if it's a physical product, right, you don't necessarily have to start a factory per se, but you can contract out with factories that can produce product for you. So most of your major brands don't actually manufacture. So for example, I'm going to give you an example of vertical integration with Target retail stores. So Target has its own store brands, and it owns the manufacturing, controls the distribution, and is the retailer. So it cuts out the middleman, and it can offer a product like their brand name product at a much lower price. But Target isn't out there manufacturing bowls or dishes or anything. What they do is they contract manufacture. So when you're talking about owning the production, if it's a physical product, you can contract manufacture it to start. Now, you are at the mercy of that manufacturer. They can up your price. They can go out of business or whatever, and you'll be jacked up. So that's for physical products, all right? So it doesn't mean that you have to start a manufacturing facility. So like Kazuri, they actually manufacture their curling irons and pressing combs. So they have a plant, okay? So you got to start. Maybe you can't start with the plant. Maybe you start out contract manufacturing, you get your paper up, and then you start manufacturing in-house. So own the production. That's why, guys, digital products are so important, because you can easily create digital products. The production of a digital product, it could be an online course. You know, it could be an ebook. It could be a video series or whatever. You can create that with software and a cell phone. So if you want to create a digital course on teaching somebody how to do something, if you have an iPhone or a high quality cell phone, you can create a course there. You can use a platform like thinkific.com to upload the course there. So now you are producing the product. You're a producer. Physical products, once again. So say you have a hair care formula, or say you, just like my cousin who has does body lotions, body butters. She actually, on a small scale, is producing those herself. She's owning the production. So what she's doing is she's buying all of the actual products or components of the products, the jars, the everything, the labeling, and she's actually producing on a lower level, her own products. Now, if the thing takes off and she's moving 1,000 units a day, she's going to have to get somebody to manufacture for her. So level of the game. Number one, own the production. Okay? Own the production. So once again, there's only 6 things you can sell, family. Your physical products, your digital products, your services. Somebody else's physical products, somebody else's digital products, and somebody else's services. So this really only applies to your physical products and your digital products. And once again, physical products doesn't mean you have to have a manufacturing facility. You can contract out with a manufacturer. Digital products, you can easily create your own digital products. With today's technology, it's very simple. Okay. Level number 2, own the distribution. And what does that mean? You control the distribution. Okay. So, for example, people ask me all the time, my book, A New Black Wall Street, how come you don't sell it on Amazon? Because I want to control the distribution. Okay. Will I make more sales on Amazon? I probably will. But what happens, and we talked about this with Randy Williams from Tally and Twine, when we'll talk about the customer later, but say somebody wants to give me bad reviews on Amazon and they're not warranted reviews. Amazon's going to keep them up there. So that it's funny, because that's a reason that I don't tell people my product brands, because there's espionage out here. I was telling you guys, this is a war. I've known people that have created product brands and they've been sabotaged by competitors who had people go on Amazon and put false reviews up, 1-star reviews, and it would kill the sales of a product. So once again, that distribution, Amazon is a distribution platform. But if that's your only distribution platform, once again, you're at the behest of Amazon. If your distribution platform is only Amazon, or if it's only eBay, if it's only Etsy, you're at the behest of that platform. That's why I always talk about selling things or distributing things from your own website. Not that these other sites are bad, because, yeah, they can give you a lot of traction, but you control your own site. First and foremost, Tally and Twine. And he talked about controlling his own site, controlling everything. He doesn't even really sell that much on Amazon. Okay? So own your distribution. Okay? Once again, this is a war out here. It's an economic war. So if you have a competitor and that competitor decides to sabotage you, and I've seen it, like I said, all the time, then you can get jammed up. And I told this story before, but anybody who's new, who's listening, one of my first products, one of my biggest products when I came out on Amazon, I sold $272,000 in change from June of that year to December of that year with a 70% profit margin. Now, in November, my product was actually halted or suppressed by Amazon because somebody came or emailed Amazon and said, hey, the product I ordered wasn't what I received. Now, that couldn't even been true because I sent all my product to Amazon doing fulfillment by Amazon. So Amazon, when somebody ordered, Amazon shipped the product out. But what happened right at the height of the holiday buying season, for 7 days, they suppressed my product, meaning I couldn't sell any product. And what Amazon had to do was they had to go to each warehouse that they had my product. And I probably had about 1,000 units, probably in about 6 or 7 different warehouses. So they had to wait till somebody went into the Amazon warehouse and did a check on each of those units to make sure that the unit matched up to the actual product description, which it did. And I had no recourse whatsoever but to sit there and wait. And finally, after about 7 or 8 days, my product listing was back on Amazon. But by that time, I was netting about $1,500, $1,600 a day net. So I lost about $7,000, $8,000 because I'm on Amazon's platform. I didn't control the distribution. Now, thank God it was only 7 days. What happens if they came back and said that, you know what, we're going to suppress your listing. We can't get to this, until after the holiday because it's too busy. I'd have been jacked up. I'd have been jammed. So that's Amazon distribution. That's not mine. It's not Jay Jones's distribution system. And not that it's bad, but you have to understand when you're on somebody else's distribution platform, you don't control it. So I'm not saying don't sell your products or service on Amazon. I'm not saying that. You have to do what's right for you. But for my book, I wanted to control my distribution. Okay? I wanted to make sure that, what I'm talking about is Black economic empowerment. And so somebody could easily listen to my podcast, not like what I'm saying, and they get people come in and say, hey, you know what? Let's give this book a 1-star review. They never read the book. But it could be some white supremacists or some racists or whatever. Nah, we don't want this information to get out. Yo, let's sabotage this cat's book. Let's put bad reviews up there about this book. So once again, owning the distribution is part of that vertical integration. So we're talking about owning the production. We just talked about owning the distribution. And the biggest thing, family, is owning the customer. So once again, Randy Williams from Tally and Twine. You sell on Amazon, it's their customer. You get their address, but you don't get their email contact information. Okay? So guess who's customer? Amazon tells you when you sell there. We're letting you borrow our customers to sell to our customers. These are our customers. They're not yours. And for us sharing our customers with you, we're going to take a percentage of the gross sales price, usually 15% plus additional fees and storage fees. And if you do fulfillment by Amazon, the shipping fees. So own the customer. Once again, family, your database is the most important aspect of your business. And before I forget, I mentioned it last week. Go to BEBMilliondollarlist.com for a free cheat sheet or checklist of how to build your $1 million list. BEB, like Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. BEBMilliondollarlist.com. Go there, get the free checklist. Your customer base. Owning the customer, your database is the greatest asset your business has. You know why? So even if your production gets shut down, your distribution gets shut down, if you own that customer and build a relationship with that customer, you could say, guess what, guys? You know what? We have a little setback right now. We'll be open again in a week. Here's our new site. This is where you can buy our product or service from, or here's our new location. So owning the customer. All right, and I know y'all getting tired of me saying this, but when Borders Bookstore went out of business, family, Barnes and Nobles did not buy their physical stores. They did not buy their inventory. They bought their customer list from the bankruptcy proceeding. That's how important it is. They bought their customer list. Why? Because your customers are what makes you the money. Once again, lead, prospect, customer, sales, generate money. Okay? No leads equals no prospects, equals no customers, equals no sales, equals no business. So go to BEBMilliondollarlist.com, BEBMilliondollarlist.com for a free checklist of how to build your $1 million list. Also, when I talk about owning the customer, there is Amazon right now. If you guys don't know, they produce over 50% in the United States, over 50% of the e-commerce sales. I think it's like 52, 53% of all e-commerce sales in the US is done on Amazon. Now, if you don't know this, Amazon actually has its own brands in different verticals, in different type of industries. They have a clothing brand. I forgot what that is. But I was just reading an article, and it's called Amazon Copycat Brands. So there's a brand of shoe or sneaker out there. It's like a little, like a walking shoe that a lot of people in Silicon Valley use. It's the brand name is All Birds. Okay. Now, All Birds only sells on its own site. So what did Amazon do? They actually created a knockoff or clone of the All Birds shoe. And I forgot what they call their brand. So Amazon, if they see that a product is very profitable, guess what they decide to do? We're going to create a knockoff brand or a similar brand, and we can sell it at a lower price. And do you know why they can sell it at a lower price? Because they're controlling the vertical. Okay? They're going to contract manufacture it out, and Amazon has the power to basically dictate terms. Okay? They're going to manufacture the product or, own the production. They own the distribution because Amazon.com sells over 53% of all e-commerce sales in the U.S., and they own the customer. They understand vertical integration. If the greatest company in the world, or one of the greatest companies in the world, understands that, you need to understand that too. So that's another thing about owning the customer. So you think Amazon makes the what's the cube, the Alexa or whatever it is? Now they contract that out. Now they could buy a manufacturer if they want to, but no, they understand how important controlling the vertical is. Vertical integration, family. Own the production, own the distribution, own the customer, or die. And I just want to go back to Kady Hair Supply, Kayla and Kiana Davis. And you see two young sisters taking that leap of faith, doing tremendous things, building a business, but not thinking, because the experience, and I'm not in not bad way, but the experience, they probably never thought about, man, I don't, why wouldn't they sell to me? This is how crazy other ethnicities think. All money ain't good money. And that's what the Koreans are saying. All money ain't good money. KD Hair Care Supply could be a big business, and we could make money by selling them products. But guess what? We only want black folk as customers. We don't want them owning any hair care supply companies. So you got to understand, family, it's a war out there. And if you're not steeped with this vertical integration, you're more susceptible to being shut down. And granted, I know you can't start that way most times because we don't have the resources, but you need to start thinking that that's the direction I need to go in. Production, distribution, and owning the customer. Okay? So these young sisters were doing it right, doing big things. And the Koreans got a hold of it. Oh, nah, we can't sell to them. Nah, we don't want them getting a piece. All we want black people for is to be a customer. We don't want them to be owners. We're not gonna sell our products to them so they can even sell it to their people. Nah, we're controlling this whole game. We're a customer. You're either a consumer or a producer. And the Koreans in this hair care business understand what that means. Do you understand these numbers, family? $1.1 billion annually on beauty. That's what black folks spend. We spend 9 times more than other non-blacks. $473 million in hair care, $127 million in grooming aids, $465 million in skincare preparation, $1.1 billion annually. They understand group economics. They understand vertical integration. They understand cornering the market. They understand it. Now, I don't know a lot about that industry because I'm a bald-headed black dude, but what I'm saying is, why can't we start manufacturing? And I talked to my wife about this before. Why don't we have any hair care beauty supply stores that only sell black-owned beauty supplies? Is it because we don't have enough of those? I know we got a lot of natural hair care brands out there, but whoever's out there in this space, if whatever's in the beauty supply store, can we manufacture it? Can we start doing that and not just be a black owned, but a black, retail establishment that only sells black owned manufactured products? Can we do that? Yeah, we can do it if we put the mind to it. So that's what we got to start thinking about, guys. And like I said, there's levels to the game. In any game, there's levels to the game. And if you're just playing on the surface level, in the long run, you're going to get eaten up. And these young sisters were doing everything right. But they were basically consumed by the monster that's become the beauty hair care supply industry. And that monster is controlled by the Koreans, who have no idea, no thought of trying to lose that. So they're going to do anything they can. They're giving up money. Nah, we don't even want your money, sis. We don't even want your money to buy products from us because we don't even want you to have a retail establishment. We need to control this thing from the bottom to the top. That's what they're telling you. And we're still going into these stores. We're still buying these products. We're still supporting somebody that don't give a damn about us. Just like in my episode, here's what they think about you. You still in there. You still buying Gucci. They told you, they showed you what they think you are. Looking like a sweater with the big lips and all of that. They showed you and you still buying it. That's why they laughing at you. They laughing at you all the way to the bank. Because they know that it doesn't matter what they say to us, what they do to us, what they call us, we still going to spend our money there. Because we don't understand group economics. We don't understand that economics is the key to empowerment. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it till y'all get tired of it. There's no revolution without economics. None. I don't care what you do, what you march. There's people going different ways. Yeah, we can march, we can protest. The bottom line is the bottom line. You want to punch somebody in the mouth, you take money out their pocket. That's how you punch somebody in the mouth. Figuratively. Take money out their pocket and they will listen to you. They will listen to you. All right, family. We got any manufacturers or prospective manufacturers in the hair care space, the beauty space? Start putting your products together. You know what I mean? Stop fighting each other. Group economics. Start getting these products out there. We can create, or somebody can create, a website that just sells black hair care products. Okay? So instead of buying from the Koreans, can't you buy wholesale from some of these other black vendors and create your own site? Keeping that money circulating in our community. It's funny. There's a beauty supply place that my wife goes into. And it's real funny. I think I told this story on one of the episodes. So we go into the store and I was like, let me go in here. Let me see what's going on. And so my wife likes this type of some hair stuff for her hair. I forgot what it's called. But anyway, we go into the store. They had a young sister in the store running the register. And I'm like, okay, maybe this sister owns the store or something. And I said, hey, sis, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. She's like, yeah. I said, are you happen to be the owner? Oh, no, I'm not the owner. I'm the manager. I said, okay. I said, well, who owns the store? Are they Korean? And she looked at me and she smiled. She was like, yeah, but they treat me well though. They allow me to create my own hours and do all of that, this, that, and the other thing. I'm like, I know she was a younger sister, but I'm like, treat you well. That's cool. But we got to start thinking about owning the thing instead of just being consumers and employees. Be a producer and an owner. That's the difference, family. That's the difference where economic power comes from. Either you're a producer or a consumer. Either you're a customer or you're an owner. That's the matrix right there. It's already been identified how we come up. The problem is we're not taking advantage of the opportunities we have. I'm listening to a YouTube video the other day, and my boy E.T. was talking about it. He said, my God, just imagine if you were born in the 1960s or you were an adult in the 1960s, the opportunities you had then versus the opportunities that we have today. Now, yeah, we still got a whole lot of mess going on, right? But just imagine the opportunities we have today with the technology. You could be sitting in your underwear in your basement selling something. People don't have to know what your color is. That's just like with my flat iron brand. People don't know that I'm black owned. It's a black owned brand. And I do that on purpose. Now I got a black woman and a white woman on the box cover, but they don't know I'm a black dude that owns this business. Because I'm doing just like everybody else. Everybody else is sucking money out of our community, right? So why can't I take money out of other people's community? Okay? And the majority of my customers are white. And I can tell by the names in the database. So I'm doing the same thing they are. So the opportunities that we have today, family, there's no reason we can't build this economic power base one person at a time, one household at a time. Using the technology, using our talents. We're some of the most talented and creative people out there. And we got to start understanding the game. If you understand the game, then you'll know how to maneuver to win the game. But when you focusing on stuff that don't even make sense, you know, all this ridiculousness, yeah, it's time for fun. But, yo, it's business first, then pleasure. Handle your business so you can have a whole lot of pleasure. And that's one of the focuses of or things I always used to tell my kids. Handle your business first and then go have fun. Whatever that business is, be it schoolwork, your job, whatever you're doing, handle your business first. Yeah, we need entertainment. But I always tell you guys, garbage in means garbage out. If you're spending 3 hours watching some garbage on TV, Real Housewives or wherever, when you could be using that same time and leveraging your time to start building something that can obviously support you and your family and your community, do that. The reason you're listening to Black Entrepreneur Blueprint is either that you want to start a business or you're already in business. So if you're listening, making a concerted effort to listen to the podcast, family, listen to what I'm saying. The importance of vertical integration. Own the production, own the distribution, and own the customer, or you gonna die. Maybe not right away, but the deeper you get this business, this integration, the stronger your business is gonna be. And I'm just gonna recap real quick. Own the production. If it's a physical product, you don't have to physically produce it yourself. You can contract manufacture it with a manufacturing company. And always have a backup, okay? If it's a digital product, you can create that yourself. A digital product could be a digital course. It could be an ebook. It could be a video series or whatever it is. That's something that you can own the production, and it's not costly to do so. So if you want to create a digital course, all that is getting on a platform like thinkific.com, uploading your videos and your PowerPoints, and now you have a digital product. Okay, if you want a physical product, once again, I use the example of my cousin who does the body butters and all of that stuff. She buys all the components, the jars, the lids, the labels. She puts it all together. She's actually doing the production. She owns that production. Number 2, you want to own the distribution. You want to be able to control how your product is distributed. Okay, once again, we talked about Amazon, eBay. Those sites are good. But you need to have your own distribution mechanism. I'll forego the 10 times more sales I'll get on Amazon with my book, A New Black Wall Street, because I want to control my distribution. Okay? That the sale of the book isn't my sole income. So what's more important to me is the distribution mechanism controlling that. Now, eventually I may put it out there, but right now I want to control that distribution mechanism. And the third and last is own the customer, which is the number one thing. If you own the customer, you own that relationship. They're going to go with you and follow you anywhere as long as you have a good relationship with them. So once again, that's your biggest asset to your business, your database. And I said this last week, and don't forget, guys, check out BEBMilliondollarlist.com, BEBMilliondollarlist.com. The difference between a business going out of business or barely making it and a 7-figure business is the list. That means you're just offering the same product or services to a greater list. It is a function of the numbers. It's a function of the numbers. So these companies that are selling, it could be a one-person show and they got $1 million business because they have a big list. So if you're an author and you're focusing just solely on writing your book, and then once your book is finished, you start scratching your head and like, wow, I wonder who I'm going to sell this book to. That's because you haven't focused on your list. Build your list, your $1 million list. So go to BEB $1 million list. It's the biggest reason businesses fail, family. If you own that customer, which is owning the database, that relationship with that list, they'll follow you anywhere. Your store gets burned. As a matter of fact, there's a black bookstore I was talking to. They burned down. And this is outside of the Philly area. They had burned down and they had to start selling online. And they were already selling online. But what they did was, hey, the store is getting redone. It's going to be closed for about 4 to 5 months. We're still in business. Here's the database. They set up, this thing online and they selling online. So their customers are going to go with them anywhere because they have a relationship over the years. They built that relationship. They built that trust. So own the production, own the distribution, and own the customer. If y'all don't get anything from this episode, y'all need to make sure you understand vertical integration. It's a competitive strategy by which a company takes complete control over one or more stages of production or distribution of a product. And a perfect example, once again, we'll use Target, okay? So Target, they're a retailer. It has its own store brand. So you go in Target, you can buy a Target brand. It owns the manufacturing. It controls the distribution, which is the retail store and the website, and it's the retailer. Now, because it cuts out the middleman, it can offer that product, their brand name product, at a much lower price. So private labeling. So when you go to the supermarket and you see Fruit Loops and they got a knockoff Fruit Loops called Fruitios or whatever you want to call it, many times it's the same manufacturer, just manufacturing for somebody else. So if you go to like Giant supermarkets, Super G or Giant, any of your major supermarkets, they have their own brands. They don't actually manufacture their rice-a-roni or their rice or whatever. They have store brands, and all they do is they go to manufacturers who are contract manufacturers. Hey, look, we want you, to do our rice brand. So Giant, Super G, whatever you want to call them, they're pretty big around here. Giant has its own brand of rice, which is basically manufactured by some other company, which probably manufactures some of the bigger brands of rice. Okay. So any store brand that you see, they usually do not manufacture it. So that's what contract manufacturing is. That's owning the production. And once again, that doesn't mean that they have to own the manufacturing facility, but they control the production. Own the production, own the distribution, own the customer. Family, we got to start working together. You see what's happening in the black hair care industry, how other ethnicities or the Koreans specifically are controlling it. They're locking you out and they making no bones about it. They letting you know you are a customer. This is what we think of you. I told you the story of Kazuri products out in LA. They create curling irons and pressing combs. So what did the beauty suppliers do? The Korean beauty suppliers, they started cutting their products out. They started duplicating their products, and then they're telling their customers they're telling Kazuri that there's no demand for the product, and they were even on the video telling customers, oh, that product isn't any good, buy this one, even though they knew it was an inferior knockoff. So if you don't think that's war, then I don't know what to tell you. It's an economic war. If you don't have economics, family, you don't have nothing. Nothing. And we over here running around trying to get a freaking Popeye's chicken sandwich when we got a war going on, and you got people acting like a fool for a freaking chicken sandwich. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I said it. Because it's ridiculous. If you was at it worried about a chicken, man, look, don't even get me started on this nonsense. Because it's all about vertical integration. It's all about building businesses. It's all about circulating the dollar in the black community. It takes a concerted effort. The Koreans understand it, and they telling you that to your face. They're showing it to you. What they did to Kady Hair Care Supply in Moreno Valley, California. They showed them. They told them, look, we don't sell to you. We only sell to our people. And we still supporting these businesses. Somebody, please. I'm not in that space, but somebody, please, put together an online beauty supply store that only sells black manufactured products. That'll probably be a big seller. Now, yeah, it's going to take a lot of work, and you're going to have to contract out with the manufacturers. But damn, if they're selling their products through other entities like beauty supply stores, they can sell to you too. Maybe you can even do it on consignment. So when you go to a lot of these ethnic supermarkets, every product that you see in there, even if it's fruits or vegetables, it comes from that ethnicity. I'll give you a perfect example. So outside of Philadelphia, about 50 miles is Lancaster, Pennsylvania, where the Amish are. Okay? You can go to an Amish market. They got the meat, right? Which is, they raise the meat. All right? They have the vegetables, which they grow. They even have Amish markets in Philly and Delaware and Jersey, and everything in those markets, the cupcakes, the bakery, everything they have. They got a chicken place, or this is inside one facility. They have meats, they have chicken, they have fish, they have bakery products, they have vegetables, and everything that they sell out of this market comes from the Amish. So you're not going to find, I'm talking about even down to buying honey. Even the pepper is coming from the Amish manufacturers. Why can't we do that? Problem is we're so accustomed to buying from somebody else, we don't even think about it. It's unconscious to us. But that's what's going to kill us. So that's what is killing us. It's a conscious and concerted effort that we have to make. Somebody do that business for me. All right? Shoot, I'm telling you, we spend that much money, $1.1 billion a year on beauty annually just in the United States. Somebody put this thing together. And the manufacturers, if you're a black manufacturer of a beauty, any type of beauty supplies, y'all get together. I know you got to have some organizations. Y'all get together and start working together and put something out online, so you don't need to necessarily have a storefront, so you can sell all the black-owned beauty supply stuff. That's what we got to do. Same thing with barbers. I talked about that before. Everybody get your stuff together, man. Vertical integration, family. I'm about to close out, but before I do, I want to thank the BEB family. Each and every week, guys, we get more and more downloads. Please continue to spread the word about the podcast and the blog. If you need to connect with me, anything long, hit me on my email, jjones@blackentrepreneurblueprint.com, JAYJONES@blackentrepreneurblueprint.com. Facebook, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Twitter, JJones001, that's JAYJONES001. Instagram, JJones for real, JAYJONES, the number 4, REAL. YouTube, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, family. I got additional content that comes out on YouTube that's not on the podcast. Yes, the podcast does come out on YouTube, but go to YouTube, search Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, and please hit subscribe. LinkedIn, connect with me via LinkedIn, J Jones, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. If you want to be included in the BEB text line, to be included in any for special notifications and reminders, text BEB to 555-888 BEB to 555-888. If you want to book me for a speaking engagement or a book tour, if you're a university, college, organization, school, whatever, you can go to bookjjones.com, fill out the form, and I'll get right back to you. Now, all of this information can be found at bebconnect.com. All of those links, social media links and everything, go to bebconnect.com. It's a page on my website. And if you scroll down, you'll see links to all of my stuff. The podcast links, the book links, the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint Academy link, which is about to open next month. All types of links. Everything I talked about, BEB Connect. I love you guys. I'll see you same time next week. Peace.